If you've ever gotten paid, paid a bill, or swiped a debit card, it's probably the case that you're already using a checking account. But the question is do you really know how it works though? So that's what we'll talk about today. I'll be breaking down checking accounts in plain English, how they work, what to watch out for, and how to make the most of yours. So a checking account is your everyday money hub. It's where your paychecks go. It's how you pay your bills, swipe your card, spend your money, send your money through Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. Checking accounts are made for spending and transacting and not necessarily savings. They're built to help you move money in and out quickly and quite often. So there's a couple things that checking accounts include, which when you get money, when you work, your employer is able to automatically deposit your checks into your account through what's called direct deposit. And you could get money out, or you could use checks, or you could use digital checks. A digital check is what's called a debit card. So then with debit cards, you can spend straight from your account without pulling out cash. You get mobile and online banking, so let's just say that's an app, and then through there you're able to always check on your balances, pay bills, transfer, all types of stuff, even if the bank is closed. You also get checks. I mean, we just said this one. And yeah, those still exist. It's important to know how to read and write checks. I'll make an entire video, don't even worry about it, going through checks and going real deep so we all understand. And then you get ATM access. This is the way that you're able to pull money out. All this stuff's pretty standard. Bill pay. You get bill pay as well, so you're able to pay your bills. It's in the name, so pay rent, utilities, subscriptions online. That all covers in bill pay, not pays. And then some banks also offer Zelle or instant transfers. You also can get overdraft protection, cash back, debit rewards. There's all types of different bells and whistles that banks offer. Now, you can deposit your money into a checking account a few different ways. We mentioned one mainly being that direct deposit directly from your employer. You could go drop off cash in person at the bank. If you got a check, you can mobile deposit it with the app, or just by transferring money from one account or having somebody send you money. And then you can take money out through the swipe of a debit card, using an ATM, transferring online, writing a check, or withdrawing in person. So let's talk about some of the minimum requirements that banks have. So not all banks are free. It just kind of depends. So some banks want you to keep a minimum balance in the account. It really depends on the type of account you're in, but sometimes that minimum could be anywhere from $100 to $1,500. Sometimes they'll waive that fee if you set up direct deposit or make a few debit purchases per month, so like swipe your card. If you don't, they'll charge you a monthly maintenance fee. Sometimes they even charge for paper statements. They try to send everything electronically now, save costs, save paper. And fees could range anywhere from $2 to $5 to $15, depending on what kind of fee it is. So a quick tip for you, many banks skip these fees completely depending on the type of account you're in. So just call up your banker, ask your banker in person, or interview banks and find out based on your needs what type of account would fit you the best. So here are some common fees to watch out for. And we'll go back and write this one down because this one should stick in your brain really good. So the first type of fee is what's called overdraft. So an overdraft fee occurs when you spend more than you have. So a lot of people get confused on what overdraft is. So what overdraft is say if you want overdraft and you got $5 in your bank account, but you need to swipe your card for $20 worth of gas to get to work. The bank will cover that additional $15 that you don't have because you only have $5 in your account. It's all good and dandy, but you're going to get what's called an overdraft fee. And those could range anywhere. Let's just say on average, they're about $25. Then another type of fee you get from not using what's called the network ATM. So a non-network ATM fee. And I mean, these will just be a couple bucks. The bank's not going to hound you for it, but this is just from using other banks' machines. They really want to incentivize you to stay in their network. Monthly fees, so this could depend on the type of account you're in. So if you don't meet minimum requirements for the account, that's an example, and then they could charge you like a $10, $15 monthly service charge for not having that minimum $1,500 in your account if that's the type of account you're in. Then another one is returned check fees. So pretty much this comes from when you write checks off of your account and it bounces because you don't have the money available. And let's say you don't have overdraft or you're maxed out on your overdraft. So these are some of the fees that you should be aware of. Always read the fine print, the bank's fine print. They have the papers that you got to go through when you're opening accounts. And sometimes the banker might just try to, here you go, sign right here, sign right here. So don't get caught off guard. If you don't feel like reading it, have the banker explain it for you. It's their job. So yes, checks still matter and they're pretty useful for writing expenses. Like I said, we'll go into this a bit deeper, but imagine you're trying to pay people who don't take cards. Keeping records of payments, checks are really good for that because you get a memo area. And when using checks, you want to record the check numbers you've used. They oftentimes just go in order, so like 1, 2, 3, and they just continue down the ladder. So if you look at your account one day and you're on like check 55, but somehow like you see like this regular amount, it didn't really stick out to you, but it's like a check in the hundreds, it's probably like due to fraud, right? So that's why recording the check number is important. Don't write bad checks because that's when it bounces and your bank's looking at you like you're sketch and you're possibly being investigated. And keep notes on each one of them. Like I said, you got that memo section. Use it because I promise you'll look at this at a year from now and you'll completely forget what this charge of many actually pertains to. But checking accounts are pretty simple. They're powerful though when you use them right. So make sure to avoid fees, keep your balance healthy, and use all the tools your bank gives you. Use your banker. If this video helped you, hit like, subscribe. I'm building a full banking for beginners playlist, so check it out if you want to level up your money game. I'll see y'all in the next one, and thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for being here. Y'all have a blast.